Hey guys, welcome back to GeekJ, where we make tech, tutorials, and gaming simpler and better. Today we're diving into modding the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered with the latest Mod Organizer 2. We'll grab the right tools, set up a Mod Organizer 2, install 3 must-have mods in my opinion to supercharge your game, and whether you're a modding newbie or a seasoned modder, this guide's got you covered. Let's jump into Cyrodiil, guys. So first things first, we need the latest Mod Organizer 2, which is version 2.5.3 Beta 2 as of this video. It's the only version that plays nice with Oblivion Remastered. So we're gonna head to the official Mod Organizer 2 Discord channel. Link will be in the description below. I'm gonna grab the archive and extract it. I always recommend running an portable version of things so you don't have to go through installations, and it's a lot easier to back up stuff if it's a simple portable installation. I would recommend extracting it to a fast drive like an SSD and rename the folder to something that is easier to understand, like which game you're modding at that point. So usually I name it MO2 Oblivion Remastered to keep it separate from other Mod Organizer 2 instances. So let's go ahead on our desktop and actually do that. So as you can see, I am in the Mod Organizer 2 official Discord, and I'm gonna click on this archive and we're gonna navigate into the download screen, as you can see over here, and it suggests we download this 7-zip archive, and we're just gonna click on download. So after our download is completed, be careful not to install a dev version. We need the 2.5.3 Beta 2 version. So this is the one we're going to extract in a location of our choosing. And just to make things a little bit easier, let me double click on this. And as you can see, we just get a lot of folders and files. So an easy way I really like to follow every time I try to extract something that looks like this, I just press on my right click and then drag and drop it to the location I wish and then release it. And I'm gonna go over the 7-zip and extract to Mod Organizer blah blah blah. This means that it will create this folder for me, and I will not have like a splurge of folders and files somewhere, and then I'm gonna get crazy trying to figure out where are all the files and how do I put them in the same folder and stuff like that. So let's just go with that. And as you can see, we have our little folder over here. We are going to right click on this, rename. I'm going to do MO2 Oblivion Remastered GeekJ YT for YouTube. So if we open up this folder, let me close out of the previous one, we don't need it anymore. You will see over here, we can just run Mod Organizer 2. So let's just try and do that. And basically it is asking us to create a new instance, and we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna go with next. We're gonna go with create a portable instance. We don't want a global instance. At least this is how I run my games. If you, for some reason, have multiple drives with multiple Steam libraries and stuff, you can browse to where the game is located. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm gonna hit browse and navigate to my game install folder. Then it's going to ask us to create a new instance and configure our profile. I'm just gonna leave everything as is. Click next. And as you can see, it says select a folder where the data should be stored. I will just click the same folder. Confirmation, it's going to give you a little confirmation over here, and just click finish. And then Mod Organizer 2 will start. I'm just going to press OK. I will click import Nexus categories. And once you are done with this, you're going to be greeted by this browser screen. That's going to give you some basic information on how to do things. if you're using root builder and stuff like that, it kind of gets a little bit complicated. So I'm gonna try and simplify things for you guys, so you don't have to go through all this by yourselves. And it's gonna be, I think, super simple and easy. So just keep that open over there. The first thing I always do is click on this screwdriver and wrench icon and go to themes, and then before I pluck my own eyes out, I'm gonna go, let's say, with dark mode, 1809 dark mode, and okay, that's a lot better. And as you can see over here, we have our main ESM and ESP files. Some of them are not let's say activated. I'm gonna click on those as well. I have the deluxe version of the game, so you can see some ESPs are going to be present, but if you have the standard version of the game, you're not going to have some of the ESPs on your vanilla game that are present over here, but that is totally normal, so don't worry about that. So what do we do next? Do we start installing mods? Well, not yet, because some of the things I think are a lot better if we start installing them manually. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna exit out of my mod organizer 2 installation right now. One of the tools we are going to need 100% is loot to sort our mod order, and it has been present in the modding scene, especially for Bethesda games, if not exclusively for Bethesda games, since I don't even remember when. We want to download the latest version in an archived form, just like we did with Mod Organizer 2. So we're gonna go to the loot website. Again, link is gonna be, you know where. Gonna bring up the website over here. We're gonna click on download loot, and yeah, you select whichever you want. I always go with the archived version, which says win64.7 zip, and we're gonna download this one. So after you've downloaded this, it's gonna look something like this, and it says loot 0260 win64.7 zip. If we double click on this, we are in, luck, because it has a folder by itself. If we double click on this folder, you will see there is the new loot executable and all the files we need. So a neat trick is something I like to do. If you go into our mod organizer 2 Oblivion Remastered GeekJ blah 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 folder, you will see there are some folders in here. And what I usually like to do is create a little folder that's called tools, and then open that folder up. And basically what I do is just drag and drop this in here, and I have a loot installation basically in my MO2 installation. So that is a very convenient way to keep everything in the same location and separate from your other instances. So now, before we move on, we're gonna grab 2 essential tools from Nexus mods. One of them is OBSE64, and let's navigate to that location right now. So it's this one over here. We're gonna go into files, and we're gonna go with a manual download. So these 2 main mods we're gonna manually install in the main game folder. Otherwise, things get a little bit complicated, and I don't want you guys to just keep scratching your head and, just not enjoying your game and installing the mods you like. Let's keep it super simple. So after you click on manual download, you're going to be greeted with this folder over here. So let's open up the archive, and as you can see over here, there's a folder and then several files. The only files we need are the OBSE, DLL, and the exe file. So where do we put those? If we go to the description of the web page, we will see exactly where we need to copy these files, copy the DLL and exe files into your Oblivion Remastered folder. This is usually, and it says where it should be installed if you have your Steam library installed into your C drive. If you don't, I mean, obviously you're more tech savvy and you will know where the location is. But the main thing is we need to go into the Oblivion Remastered, then Oblivion Remastered again, binaries Win64 folder, and then copy those two files in there. So let's just go ahead and do that. So we're here in the completely vanilla game folder. I'm gonna go into the Oblivion Remastered, binaries Win64, and as you can see over here, there are some new files created, even though we haven't installed anything, because this is what Mod Organizer 2 does. After you've run the instance once, it creates these folders and it's expecting to find things in there. So we're gonna grab these two and we're just gonna drag and drop them in here. And basically this is it. We can exit out of our 7-zip. The next thing we're gonna need is the UE4SS mod for Oblivion Remastered. So we're gonna navigate to that Nexus mod page as well, download and extract those files into our main Win64 game folder that contains the actual Oblivion Remastered.exe file that runs the game. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see over here, UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered. We're gonna scroll a little bit down and go to files over here. And we have some options. I'm just gonna go with the manual download of the main UE4SS file. And as you can see over here, we have our zip folder or archive, and we have these files over here. So we're gonna go over here into our Win64 main folder, and we're gonna grab the DLL file and the UE4SS little folder over here. You want to grab those two, drag and drop them in there, and you're basically done with this. All right, the tools are ready. Time to fire up Mod Organizer 2. So we have our instance. We already selected our sleek theme over here so we don't go blind. And we are going to firstly add loot into our little execution window over here. As you can see, OBSE64 is already present, and this is how we're gonna run our game afterwards and from now on. But first, we're gonna go into edit. We're gonna click on this plus button over here, and we're gonna add from file. And I'm going to navigate to my desktop and into our MO2 folder we have created. Then we created a little tools folder over here, open up the loot folder, and then I'm going to select the loot.exe from over here and click on open. So I do not do anything else. I just click apply and then OK. And as you can see, loot is already over here and we can run it if we want to. But before we do anything else, there is another tool/mod we need to install for everything to work correctly, especially in regards to the UE4SS mods we're going to download from here on after. So the mod/tool I'm talking about is the UE4SS loader. So we're gonna go again into the Nexus mods page and add it to Mod Organizer 2. So this is the third tool we're gonna need. As you can see, the name is OBSE64 UE4SS loader. We're gonna scroll a little bit downwards. It says files over here, and we are going to click Mod Manager download over here. And as you can see, these two are required, and we've already installed those two manually, so we're going to be good. One of them is the OBSE64, the other one is the base UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered. So we're going to click download, slow download. If you are a premium member, you're not going to have to click that second time over there. Go back to the description, and we have some instructions over here. So this is only for Mod Organizer 2 users, by the way, and the developer of this mod/tool makes it very clear with the bold letters over here. You can still use it, but it's mainly for Mod Organizer 2 users. If you haven't already, install OBSE64, done. If you haven't already, install UE4SS, done. And then we need to delete or hide the DWM API.dll, which is something we copied when we copied over all the files of UE4SS base mod. And then install this mod. So basically what we can do, all our downloads are going to be in this tab that's called downloads, obviously over here. We're going to double click and we're going to click OK, then enable this mod over here. And as you can see in the UE4SS mods, it is present now. It says BP mod loader mod. Our pack files are going to be here, and then the plugins, which is the typical ESP ESM files that most of the Bethesda games are using, are in the plugins location. So if we minimize, we can go into our Win64 folder over here, and then we can delete this DWM API.dll. Press yes, and then we are good to go with the UE4SS loader. So now that we've done all these preparations, we're ready to mod like real pros, boys. So first mod on the list, I always like to install the unofficial patches of Bethesda games. So we have the Unofficial Oblivion Remastered patch, and this is a must-have for fixing bugs and glitches. And we're gonna download the main file from Nexus mods and install it through Mod Organizer 2. If you don't have the deluxe version of the game, just grab the one main file. But if you do have the deluxe version of the game, you do need to download the main file and the extra deluxe add-on file. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see over here, Unofficial Oblivion Remastered patch, and we're gonna go into the files location, and we have these two folders over here. So mod manager download for the main one, slow download. Then we can just click on the files button over there, or tab, and click on the mod manager download if you're on the deluxe version. If you're on the standard version, you don't need to do this, so you can skip this step. I do have the deluxe version, so I'm going to download both of these. Let's go back into our downloads tab over here, and as you can see, we do have these two folders downloaded over here. I'm going to double click on the main folder or the main file. I'm going to click OK and then enable this. And then I'm going to click on the remastered add-on. I like to keep things separate, so I'm going to go with the Unofficial Oblivion Remastered patch deluxe over here. I'm going to click OK and enable this one as well. I'm going to go back to my plugins, and as you can see, these two new ESPs we added are not enabled, so this is an extra step. We need to enable both of these if we want them to actually load into our game. Next, very basic for me, I like to spruce up the interface, and the mod I found that suits me pretty well, and I don't think we have many other options as of yet, is FuzzUI. This mod packs more into your screen, so you're not scrolling endlessly through your inventory. So again, we download it from Nexus mods and we install it in Mod Organizer 2 in that extremely simplistic way and activate it. And trust me, your eyes and your hands will thank you. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, we are on Nexus mods FuzzUI interface tweaks. We're gonna go to the files location over here, and it says mod manager download for the main file. And it's downloading, and I'm pretty sure the keen-eyed among you noticed that we have a patch for the dark mode UI, which is another mod. We're not going to be installing that, but if you're interested, you can just click on the dark mode UI and go on ahead and, install that if you want. So let's go back into our mod organizer 2 installation. We're going to go to the downloads. As you can see here, we have FuzzUI, and I'm going to click OK, enable it. Is it in the plugins? No. Is it in the UE4SS? No. Is it a pack file? Yes. And as you can see over here, we have the FuzzUI over here loaded. And finally, we are going to be adding the auto local map. It's a UE4SS mod that's a total game changer for me. It automatically opens the local map when you are in dungeons, cities, or interiors. No more zooming out to the world map every time or zooming in to the world map every time. You download it, you install it through MO2, you activate it, and your hands and fingers are gonna thank you. Trust me, because in Oblivion and in many Bethesda games, you just go in and out of, dungeon-like places or interiors all the freaking time. So you're gonna have to scroll a lot if you want to go and check out, the local map, which is very, very normal, especially when you're exploring. So instead of having to scroll all the time, this mod just fixes that. You just click your map button, and then you're directly into the local map. So let's go on ahead and do that. As you can see, this is the auto local map, smarter map opening. We're gonna go into the files, and as you can see, we have two options over here. One of them, it says auto local map, and it includes UE4SS, but we already have UE4SS installed, so we're gonna go with auto local map mod only. And you can see here it says it requires UE4SS, which we already have. So we're gonna go with mod manager download. Slow download. I'm gonna go into my downloads folder over here, auto local map. Let's go with OK. We're gonna enable this. As you can see, there's nothing in the plugins, but we do have a new addition into UE4SS mods, and it says auto local map. So we added some mods over here, and we have some UE4SS mods. We have some pack files over here. So how do we manage our load order? So we added loot earlier on. So before we run the game, we're gonna run loot by selecting it over here in the pick a program window, and we're gonna click run. And we will be greeted by this window over here. First of all, we're gonna click on this update master list, and then we're gonna sort our plugins. No changes. Sometimes you might have an error that says that your load order is an ambiguous game load order. So to fix that, you just click game over here from the tabs, and then you go into fix ambiguous load order, and then you repeat those steps I showed you before. Update the master list first, and then sort plugins. So what do you do next? You just exit out of loot, and that's it. Then you want to run the game. So how do we do that? We click again on this program selection window, and we always want to run our game through OBSE64. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna click run. Okay, let's go with a new game. This amazing name, Smash Smash. Are you sure we want to select the race okay? Let's go with yes. And as you can see, everything is working perfectly fine. We can go into our inventory. Everything is a lot more condensed, as you can see over here. And if we click on the map button directly, it automatically goes into the local map and we don't have to go through this every time. Do you get it? It starts by default over here. Then we have to either scroll all the way, or we can do this, which is clicking, so you have to move your mouse all the time. So it's either your wrist or your fingers that are gonna be, you know, really, really thanking you if you do this. And just to show you a little bit better how the game looks when you have a lot of items, I have my own save and my own modded Oblivion over here. As you can see, I use a few more mods. It's nothing crazy. We have 22 active mods over here, so nothing super crazy, but let's run the game. So if I go into my inventory, as you can see, everything is a lot more condensed, so I don't have to endlessly scroll to find things, as you can see over here. And it works on many different aspects of the UI, if not all of them. As you can see, magic is the same. We can fit a lot more things over here. My map is also automatically going into the local map, so I don't have to endlessly scroll as well. And yeah, we have a very smoothly running modded game. As you can see, I am using some other UI mods, like the Better HUD UI mod. So it adds all of your base stats. Okay. Just in case you were in doubt, this was a Bethesda game. Yep. Anyway, but yeah, you can see all of my other stats are on the bottom left side of the screen. Some other of the icons have been a little bit slimmed down and moved into different locations, and I think the compass is also a tiny bit slimmed down, so it doesn't take a whole lot of space on your screen. I do have some other dialogue UI mods installed, so everything is a bit more consolidated and everything fits in one place. You don't have to scroll and find the hidden options, which is not very clear most of the time, because this like scroll bar on the left side is not really lighting up unless you move your mouse to that place. So a lot of the options might be hidden for you if you don't scroll. So guys, with Mod Organizer 2, your game folder stays clean. You can switch to vanilla mode anytime, and you can do that by selecting the Oblivion Remastered.exe in your Mod Organizer 2 instance, or directly running the exe of the game, and it will run in vanilla mode as the game folders are completely clean. And you can even create multiple mod lists with different profiles, or even the way I prefer it, with different instances of Mod Organizer 2. And it's making modding extremely simple. So that's it, guys. You are now a modding master for Oblivion Remastered with Mod Organizer 2. Links to everything, Mod Organizer 2, loot, and the mods and tools we downloaded are in the description, below. If this helped you, smash that like button, subscribe, and do not forget to click on that bell so you never miss another GeekJ video ever again. If you want to check out how we added the latest FSR 3.1.4 to our Oblivion Remastered, check this up up there. It's cool, right? Tell me in the comments which mods you're adding next. And as always, stay geeky, and I'll see you in the next adventure. Bye-bye! Bye! Bye!